Hello and welcome to my review of the new James L. Brooks film, How Do You Know?, starring Reese Witherspoon, Owen Wilson, Paul Rudd, and Jack Nicholson. If you are watching this video, it's official. More people have seen this video than this film. It's an honor, really. But back to what's at hand, the film. This movie centers on a woman played by Reese Witherspoon who's just entering her 30s. She's kind of confused about what direction she wants her life to go, whether she wants to settle down with a guy, what direction she wants her life to go in. And she's stuck in this love triangle-like thing with two men. Owen Wilson, who's her current boyfriend, who's like this baseball player, very vapid, rich guy, kind of a ladies' man. And then we have Paul Rudd, who is a wreck in this film. He's under investigation from the government for some fraud that's not really explained very well. And he's just a nervous wreck. And the movie then proceeds with her just basically kind of deciding what direction she wants her life to go. I would have gone into this film with extremely high expectations if I hadn't read all the stuff that was coming out about it. It has four just great actors, some of which are just my favorite. Reese Witherspoon is like my favorite actress. Owen Wilson is great. I love Paul Rudd. I really love Jack Nicholson. And I really like James L. Brooks as well. As Good as It Gets is one of my favorite movies. So I was wondering why this movie got such a negative reception, because it seemed to really have it all. And I really don't see what caused such a negative reception with this film. Sure, it's mediocre, but it's not bad, and it definitely should have gotten more credit than it did. The best thing about this movie is The best thing about this movie is two of its leads. Paul Rudd and Owen Wilson are both awesome in this film. Paul Rudd gives a much better performance than he normally does in these things, and it took a little while for his character to grow on me, because his character, as I mentioned before, is a nervous wreck. He's constantly having spasms and panic attacks and all this stuff, and he starts out a little annoying. But as the film goes on, he really becomes an endearing character, and I really started to sympathize with the guy. And Paul Rudd, he was really good in this film. Owen Wilson is just awesome and hilarious as this just vapid, womanizing guy. And just some of the things that come out of his mouth just really make you laugh, and he's a great supporting performance. And what I really like about this film is how both options are imperfect. There's not the perfect guy and the guy is slightly less perfect. It seems like a much more natural two options. The other two lead performances kind of cut it down. First and foremost, and I hate to say it because she's probably my favorite actress ever, but Reese Witherspoon, I'm sorry, was miscast for this role. Her character was written a little strangely too. Her character just came off far too bitchy to be a protagonist, and Reese Witherspoon is just such an adorable, girl next door type of personality that I just don't think she fit the role. Also, we have Jack Nicholson, who I love to death. And in this film, he's just very underutilized, and he just doesn't get enough opportunities to really be Jack Nicholson. As for the film itself, I really have very mixed feelings about it. When it was beginning, I hated it. It was Awkward the movie. It was cringe-worthy. It just how unbelievably, I don't want to use overwritten, but how pretentious and just unfunny the film was. It started out just awful. I didn't like any of the main characters at first, and just none of the dialogue or anything was really working for me. But as the film went along, I really started to enjoy it and become endeared to all the characters. And I started to realize as it was going along, that this is kind of the experience the film wants you to have. It wants you to start out hating everybody just like the main character, and as you see their true colors, you start to kind of gravitate towards one or the other. And I don't know. It really started to grow on me after a while, and by the end I can definitely confidently say I was enjoying myself. And a lot of that has to do with just an uneven screenplay. James L. Brooks really excels at true sentimental moments. There are scenes in this film that feel very honest and real, especially towards the end. And they're just very well-directed, well-acted sentimental moments. But there are also parts of the script that are just very corny, and they seem like they're almost winking at the camera, acknowledging the fact that they just made a line with a grand realization. For example, there's one scene where Reese Witherspoon goes, "I don't need a cab, I just need to figure out where I'm going. Aren't I so deep?" But as I was saying, as soon as there'd be something horrible like that, there'd be something funny or sentimental to kind of pull me back in. So overall, while How Do You Know is kind of a mess, I kind of enjoyed it. It has good performances, even though two of them are kind of miscast. It has a uneven script, but the moments at work really work. It's a funny film, it's an enjoyable film, it's had over long, but I enjoyed it. I'd give it a 2.5 out of 4. I kind of want to go with a 3-star, but just because of the terrible beginning and some very, very, like, ungenuine moments, I have to go 2.5, but I did enjoy this film, and I do recommend you go see it if you're into these types of films. And if you enjoyed this video, subscribe to my channel, because there's going to be plenty more reviews coming up.